Hi, and welcome back to another session of my C++ course. At this point, we'll be talking about arrays. Now, keep in mind that during the previous sessions, when I discussed about the loop cycles, while, do while, and for, I did introduce the arrays just for the sake to show you actually how to use the loop cycles actually to loop through records. At this point, I will just briefly introduce arrays because we already saw it, and I will explain certain things which I did not mention before, and I will do another loop actually to just show you how to actually look through the records again, just as a reminder. So what is an array? An array is a collection of information, right? And we said that's how we declare an array numbers of a type integer, and that's how we can store, for example, elements, or we can use the indexes. Just 1 second. There we go. Or we can say this, and then specify the index, and then say 1 and numbers. For example, 1 equals to, for example, 2. Numbers 2 equals to 3. Numbers 3 equals to 4, for example. All right. Then I will just specify 0, 1, 2, 3 over specify the size, specifying the size, specify size of an array. That's how you do it. Okay. Now, if you'd like to look through this array, for example, what we can do is use obviously one of the loops that I introduced already, and we can say the following integer I equals to 0. We need to instantiate that variable smaller or equal, for example, than 4, and then increment the looping as you loop through the records, right? And then let's print out the result number. Okay, and then just say numbers, and let's say, and put I, because we need to count record by record, line by line, actually, in order to get out the result. Now let's just debug it, meaning that let's run the program. Okay, so the issue right here is that this is an array actually of a size 3 we mentioned right here, and hence actually we need to specify the size of the array in order to actually display the right information. But what's happening if I type in 5 right here? If I type in 5, I will get the last 2 results, which are nonsense, right? So basically, this is the allocated memory for the next array, actually, size at numbers, for example, at numbers index 4. Okay, so that's what it is at this point. Now, one thing that I want to mention is we're not gonna always know the size of the array, right? Although we specify that, for example, right here, sometimes we would not know it, right? I mean, oops, 1 second, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? And then under such circumstances, we need to be able to get the length or the size of the array numbers. So how do we do this instead of writing just a static actually number right here? Okay, so in order for us to do this, we need to find the size, okay, or the length. So I will introduce another integer variable called numbers length, for example. Now, in order for us to calculate the length of the basically of the array, we would need to use a function called sizeOf, and then pass the numbers array and then divide this to size of again numbers. Okay, numbers, and then pass the first index of the array -1 in order to get actually the right size of the numbers array. Okay, so there we go. Less or equals to numbers length, this guy, right? That's fine. There we go. So now no matter the size of the array or the number of the elements, for example, the system will be able to calculate the length of the array or the size of the array, and will be printing out this, for example, the elements inside the array. Obviously, the arrays could be of any data type. They could be of a type string as well. For example, cities. I like cities a lot, right? And then I would say New York, London, for example. And then I would say New York, London, Dublin. All right, Dublin, that's fine. And what I will do right here, I would calculate the, for example, city len at this point to automate the process or to get the length. Then I would say cities, size of cities -1. Okay, and then actually let's do this. Okay, let's just separate it into another for-each cycle, obviously. So what I can do right here is at this point I will just do again I equals to 0, I is smaller or equal to city length. Okay, then increment it. Oops. Then just display this information to the console. City. Okay, and then say cities. Which city in element I, and put everything in a separate line. Okay, so I'm going to comment out this at this point, and I'm going to copy this array right here. Okay, I'll comment this one as well, just for the sake of simplicity and not to make any mistakes. Oops, there we go. So we were able to print out an array of a string: city, New York, city, London, city, Dublin, right? And then we were able to get the length of the array without any issues. Okay,